And hello everyone, welcome to the Red October Network. Glad to see everybody back. Just want to say thank you for all the comments on the video about Soap on Pippa. It was a great benefit. I appreciate all of that. And so I wanted to offer a little bit of a viewpoint on what happened today. Obviously, you know, unless you've missed it today, we lost a great man in Joe Paterno. What can you say? We're all going to miss him, obviously. And I know there's been a lot that's been said about Joe Paterno, and everybody says how wonderful he was, especially among the Penn State community. There are still some people who say that he was hiding, he was aiding a child abuser and sexual scandal and everything. Instead of going on and making a long rant, I just want to offer my kind of view on things. First of all, I'd like to tell you that even though I went to Penn State and I was there for 6.5 years, 13 semesters, I really didn't know Joe Paterno, as most of us didn't. And to me, I saw him actually. We were at the basketball game. It was in 2009, I believe. It was either 2009 or 2010, and it was the night before the Iowa game. I think it was. It was either Ohio State or Iowa. I don't remember what it was, but I wanted to basically. When I was there, I pictured Joe Paterno. Everybody had been bashing him so much. They said he was too old. They said he was just basically too, you know, he should retire, he should get out. And I saw him come down the stairs. He had his loafers on, you know, not the typical dress shoes, but he had his loafers. And here's this 81-year-old man, and he comes down with two of the linemen coming down the stairs at the Bryce Jordan Center dancing. And I thought to myself, I said, this man is in his 9th decade, and he's coming down, and I have people at home who are in their 9th decade, and they can barely do anything. How does this man do that? And there was a student sitting next to me, a girl, and I said to her, it's amazing how he's able to do this. And he says, because Joe Pa's the man. I said, yeah, and he says, but you got to think about it. Penn State loves Joe Paterno. And when you have a love for somebody, it often will keep you young. And so I thought about that a little bit after Joe Paterno resigned, or was fired rather. And I often thought about that, and I looked at him, and initially he looked kind of just uncertain. Like, I've never seen Joe Paterno that way. And, you know, I never really knew the guy, like I said. But I often have heard from Penn State students that he did die of a broken heart, and I honestly believe that. Because of all the things he wanted us to know, the one thing that stuck in my mind is that he said, I should have done better. And I often think about that, because if you ever go to that Joe Paterno statue, which I invite everybody on YouTube to do, go to State College, it's a wonderful city, wonderful town. Go and look at this statue, and it says there, I want to be remembered not because I was a great football coach, but because I made people better. I made a difference. And that is so important, because you think about as he was laying there on his deathbed, and yes, the reports say he was happy and everything, but it just, something like the Nittany Lion in me says, you know, I wonder if he just said, I can't do this anymore. You know, I feel like I've lost it all, like a gambler who acquires a great wealth at the poker table, and then loses it all because somebody decided to knock his chips on the ground and steal them. And so that's really the view I have. he was a symbol for all of us, obviously. He was very, very important. I mean, even though he went through all of this, the difference he made. He was very charitable. He could have made millions of dollars coaching. He took a very low salary. He could have just said, I care about the football team. He didn't do that. He went out and talked to donors and got people to build tremendous buildings. He built his own library. He donated money. He has books in that library, which is another good place to go. He has, I think the chapel actually over there is there. So people see him as being this untouchable object. And in a way, I guess you could say he kind of was very elevated in a sense. He was a very important icon in Penn State history and college sports history. And a lot of and all the negativity about people, I've heard people say that he enabled a child molester to go there, he's going to go to hell. I said to them, first of all, you're not here to pass judgment on another human being who you didn't even know and you heard no evidence about. Okay? And second of all, if in my heart, I guess you could say, and it's kind of hard for me to say this, but if you think about it, he did what was legally required. He felt he should have done more. I don't think anybody in the college football world or Penn State thought he did anything wrong. He did not have bad intent. And I think that, honestly, he felt like he could have done more, and probably he should have done more. But I already think God has forgiven him, because I think he was sorry in his heart, and I think he knew he is not a stupid person. He is not an old codger. He is not senile. He knew he had made a mistake. He is human. Humans make mistakes. We have elevated him to be a god, yes. He's up there. But in the end of the day, he's still human. Humans make mistakes. I think it's very important to remember that Joe Paterno was never, ever, ever, ever a negative person. On his day of judgment, which was today, he probably got up to the pearly gates, and probably I can picture him saying, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's a bad impression, but he said, and God would say, here, come here. He'd get out of line, go up to the front. He said, you don't have to worry. Your legacy is gold. You made one mistake. We have people here who haven't been to church or anything. I think you're forgiven. And you think about this man who was in his 80s, as spry as I was talking to you about. He knew what was going on. He got hit twice, still was the coach. He got run over. If my grandmother got run over, we'd have her strapped to a bed probably. This guy is walking around, and he is basically going and coaching. He has the whole weight of the football world on his shoulders. He has 110,000 cheering fans who he all has to please. And you have to remember that this guy went through a lot of stress in his old age. Stress you would never want to go through, honestly. And you know what? It's very important, because it's very noble what he did. He made a mistake, but I hate the fact that he is still the scapegoat for everything, and that we haven't talked about Jerry Sandusky at all. Sure, that's okay as a football person, as an analyst, but Jerry Sandusky is the criminal, and not Joe Paterno. Joe Paterno made a mistake. Mike McCreary made a mistake. Tim Curley made a mistake. Gary Schultz made a mistake. Graham Spanier made a mistake. There's lots of crime to go around. But it's just important to remember, that he did what was required, and that's that. So the thing is with it is that the thing is that you have to remember is Joe Paterno was more than just one person. He was an icon. He was important to a lot of people. 49 scholarly All-American athletes. He had 6 perfect seasons, 2 national championships. He won more. But most of all, he was Penn State. He loved everybody there. He loved his university. He loved the students. He loved his coaches. He loved his players. He loved the people who taught there because he was a teacher. And so I often think about it, and that was the last time I think I saw him because he was ill after that. That's always the picture I have of Joe Paterno. And it's not that guy with the tie on and the white socks and the shoes. It's somebody where you see that picture of him and it immediately invokes a warm feeling in your heart. Because you know, he was 85. And I will tell you, Joe, if you're listening from heaven up there, you did the right thing. All 62 years you were there. You did the right thing whenever you said, I should have done more. You did the right thing in saying, I did it all I could, and I want to be remembered as being a great teacher and making the world a better place, because you did. And it is an honor to have gone to Penn State, because I know that you will be symbolic of it. I'm never afraid to say that basically, as a Penn Stater, you were part of us, you were one of us. And I always say that it was very much speaking for the people I know. We will never forget you. We think you did a good job. We think you did very good. We will have your family in our prayers and thoughts, because you did an honor, sir. Honestly. You have done everything you could. You did everything you could. You achieved it. I can think of no other person who has dedicated their life to doing nothing but teaching like that. No research, no ill effects, no I want money, I want fame. You just did it because you wanted to be a football coach. And we are still Penn State. And we are going to miss you, Joe. So, anyways, I just wanted to leave with that. If you want to leave comments, you can. Obviously, this is a very busy day, and there's going to be a lot of videos. So you don't have to share if you don't want to. Obviously, this is something where I think there's going to be 10,000 videos on YouTube. But just my thoughts on it. And we'll miss you, Joe. So see you guys later.